Alright, testing 192, part 192. Subpart H, customer meter, service regulator, service lines, 192.350. When subpart prescribed the minimum requirements for the installation, customer with the meter, service regulator, service line, service lines, valve with the service line connections and mains. 192.353, customer meters, regulators, and location. Each meter, service regulator installed at the outside of the building may install the readily accessible location, be protected from the corrosion and other damage, including if installed outside the building, vehicular damage that may be anticipated. However, the upstream regulator service may be buried. Each service regulator installed in the building must be located within your practical to the point of the service line entry. Each meter installed in the building must be located with the ventilated pipe not less than 3 feet from any source of ignition, any source of the heat that might be damaged for the meter. Where the feasible, the upstream regulator and service must be located outside of the building unless it is located with a separate meter of the regulating building. 192.355, customer meters of the regulator, protection for the damage, protection for the vacuum, the back of the pressure for the customer, equip the microwave with the vacuum or back. The pressure for the device must be installed to protect protect the system. Surface regulator vents and relief vents. Surface regulator vents and relief vents must be terminated outdoors, and outdoor terminals must be rain inspect the resistance. Located with a place where the gas from the vent can easily escape freely into the atmosphere away from any with the opening in the building. Be protected from the damage caused by submergence in areas where flooding may occur. Pit involved with each pit involved with the house of the customer meter regulator, a place where the vehicular traffic anticipated must be able to support the traffic. 192.357, the customer meter regulator installation. Each regulator must be installed as a minimum to anticipated stress upon the connection piping of the meter. The coast and all thread nipples are the wall thickness remaining with after the threads are cut must be the minimum wall thickness requirements for this part. Connections made in lead and other easily damaged material that may not be used in installation of the meters from regulators. Each regulator that might be relieved and gas operation must be ventilated outside of the atmosphere. 192.359, customers metered installation. Meter may not be used with a pressure within more than 67% of the manufacturer's shelf test pressure. Each newly installed with the meter manufacturer after November 12, 1970 must be installed and must be tested at a minimum of 10 psi gauge. A rebuild with a repair with a 10 steel case meter may not be used with a pressure that is more than 50% of the pressure used in testing of the meter that and rebuilding and repair. 192.361, surface line installation. Depth of each buried surface line must be installed with at least 12 inches over the cover of the private property, with at least 8 inches over the cover of the street with the roads. However, when the underground structure prevents installation of those depths, the surface line must be able to withstand the anticipated external load. Support and backfill. Each surface must be properly supported undisturbed, well compact and cold with the soil. The material with you, the backfill, that must be free with the material that could damage the pipe and its coating. For the drainage, the condensation of the gas might be covered. The interruption of the gas supply to the customer service line must be graded for the drain in the main into the dips of the low points of the service line. Protection against the pipe strains and external load. Each service line must be installed so that to minimize anticipated piping strain and external loading. Installation service of lines into the building. Underground service lines installed all over the grave through the outer foundation of the wall of the building. In the case of the metal surface with the protected against corrosion. In the case of the plastic surface line with the protected with the shearing action backfill settlement and be sealed with at the foundation wall to prevent leaking from the building. Installation of surface line under the building. When underground surface line is installed under the building, it must be encased with a gas tight conduit. The conduit and surface line must be in the surface line supply with the building. Under lines extend with the normal, usable, accessible part of the building. The space between the conduit and surface line must be sealed to prevent the gas leakage into the building. If the conduit is sealed at both ends of the vent line from angular space must extend to the point from the gas would not would not be a hazard. Extend above the grade. Terminate the rain. Inspect the resistance fitting located underground surface line with each for the underground non-metallic surface line is not a cable may have means of locating the pipe of the comply with the statute 192.321. Our 192.363 surface lines and valve requirements. Each surface line must have the surface line valve that meets the applicable requirements of Subpart D and B and D of this part of the valve incorporated with the meter bar that allow the meter to be bypassed by may not have the surface line valve. A soft seat surface line may be not even an ability to control the flow of the gas that can be adversely affected by the exposure to the anticipated heat. Each surface line with the valve with the highest pressure surface line within over the ground in the air with the wind blowing over the gas would be hazardous. It must be designed constructed and minimize possibility of the removal of the core of the valve with the other specified tools. 192.365 surface line location of the valve. Relation of the regulator meter. Each surface line must be installed with the upstream with the regulator. If there is no regulator with the upstream with the meter, outside valves. Each surface line must have the shut-off valve with a readily accessible location that is feasible. The outside building. Underground valves. Each underground service line with a valve must be located with a covered durable curb box and standpipe that always ready. Operation valve is supported with the independent service line. 192.367. The service line general requirements for the connection of the main pipe and the location of each of the service line with the connection with the main must be located at the top of the main. There is no practical side of the main unless the suitable protective device is installed to minimize the possibility of dust moisture with the being carried from the main into the service line with the compression type of the connection with the main. With the compression type of the service line with the main connection must be designed and installed with the efficiently sustained longitudinal pull out with the thrust forces cover the contraction expansion of the pipe and the anticipated external internal loading. If the gasket used the connection with the service line with the main connection fitting have gasket that is compatible with the kind of the gas in the system. 192.369. Surface line connection with the cast iron ductile iron main. Each surface line with the connection with the cast iron ductile iron main must be connected with the mechanical clamp drilling and the tapping of the main and orbit and another method meeting the requirements of 192.273. If threaded tap is being inserted, the requirements of 192.151 B and C must also be met. 192.371 surface line steel surface line is operated with left and 100 psi gauge must be constructed with a pipe designed for a minimum of 100 psi gauge. 192.373 surface line cast iron ductile iron. Cast ductile iron pipe left than 6 inches of the diameter may not be installed with the surface line. If the cast iron pipe ductile iron pipe installed for the use the surface line part of the surface line must be extended through the building's walls must be steel pipe. The cast iron ductile iron surface may not be installed with the unsavable soil under the building. 192.375 surface lines in plastic. Each plastic surface line outside of the building must be installed below the ground level, except that it may be installed with accordance to 192.321 G, but they may be terminated above the ground level to the outside of the building. If the above ground level, the part of the plastic surface is protected against deterioration, external damage. The plastic surface line is not used with the support and the external loads. Each plastic surface line installed in the building must be protected against external damage. 192.377 surface lines of copper. Each copper surface line installed in the building must be protected by external damage. 192.379 new surface lines not used. Each surface line that is not placed within the surface upon completion of the installation must comply with one of the following until the customer is supplied with the gas. The valve is closed to prevent the flow of the gas. The customer must be provided with a locking device or other means designed to prevent the opening of the valve person other than the authorized by the operator. Mechanical device for the fitting will prevent the flow of the gas must be installed with the surface line in the meter assembly. Customer piping must be physically disconnected from the gas and supply open ends of the sealed. 192.381 surface line excess flow of the valve performance standards. Excess flow valve to be the surface line with the operator with a continuously through the year at the pressure of not less than 10 psi gauge must be manufactured and tested manufactured in accordance with the industry specification manual written specifications to ensure that each valve will function properly with the maximum operating pressure which the valve is rated with. Function properly with all temperature reasonably expected with the operator environment of the surface line at the 10 psi gauge. Close at no more than 50% of the above the related closure flow rate specified by the manufacturer. Upon closure, reduce flow valve gas flow. For each successful low valve designed to allow the pressure equal out of the curl of the valve with no more than 5% of the manufacturer's specified closure flow rate up to the maximum of 20 cubic feet per hour. Or for an excess flow valve designed to prevent the equalization pressure of the effect across the valve no more than 4/10 over the cubic feet per hour and no close to the wind. When the pressure is less than the manufacturer minimum specified operating pressure for the flow rate below the manufacturer minimum specified closure flow rate. An excess flow rate must meet the applicable requirements of Subpart B and D with this part. Operator must mark with the otherwise identify the presence of any excessive flow valve in the surface line to operate with the air shell located with the excess flow valve with the practical fitting with the connection of the surface line to the source of the gas supply. The operator should not install the excess flow valve on the surface line where the operator has prior experience with the contaminants in this gas stream where the contaminants could be expected to cause the excessive flow valve to malfunction where the excessive flow valve would interfere with the necessary operation maintenance activity of the surface such as blowing liquids from the line. Alright, 192.383 excess flow valve installation. Definition used within this section. Branch line, surface line means the gas surface line with begins with the existing surface line and travel concurrently with the primary surface of the surface line support separately resident of the replaced with the surface line meaning the gas surface line where the fitting is of the connecting the surface line to the main is replaced with the pipe connected with the fitting is replaced with the surface line and surface line single family residence meaning the gas surface line with the begin with the fitting with the connection surface line to the main and the surface only with a single family residence. Installation required. Access flow valve and the installation must comply with the performance standard 192-381 after the April 4th, 2017, April 14th, 2017. Each operator will install the excess flow valve only with a new place service line, servicing of the following type of the service before the line is to be activated. Service line, single service line to the SFR. Or single-family residence installed concurrently with the primary single-family residence service line. A single excess flow valve may be installed with a predictable service line. A branch service line with a single-family residence installed with the previously installed single-family residence service line that does not contain the excess flow valve. Multiple family residents with the known customer load that does not exceed 1,000 single SCFH per service at the time of the service installation based on the installation meter capacity. Single small commercial customer service a single service line with a known with the customer load exceeding 1,000 CSCFH at a time meter installation based on the meter capacity exemption with the excess flow valve with installation requirements. Operator need with not install the excess flow valve then one or more of the following conditions are present. Service line does not operate with a pressure of the 10 psi gauge or greater than throughout the year, but the operator have the prior experience with the contaminants for the gas in the gas stream that could interfere with the excessive flow valve. With the operation could cover the loss of service of the customer. Excess flow valve could interfere with the necessary operation maintenance activities such as blowing liquid from the line with the excess flow valve, meeting the performance standard 192-381 that are not commercially available to the operator with the commercial or commercial customers right to the request the excess flow valve with the existing service line with the customer with the desire with the excess flow valve on the service line. I see 1,000 SCFH who do not qualify with the one exemption in the paragraph C of this section may request the excess flow valve through the installed on their service line with the eligible service line customer. The excess flow valve installation operator must install the excess flow valve at the mutually agreed date with the operator with the rate with the setter determine how to whom the cost of the request the excess flow valve is distributed. Operator notification customer excess flow valve installation. Operators must notify the customer of the right with the request the excess flow valve of the main of the mirror as specified with the paragraph C and E of the F5 of this section. Each operator must provide written electronic notification with the customer right with the request to install with the installation access flow valve. Electrical notification can include emails, website posting, e-building notice. Notification must include the explanation service line with the customer potential safety benefits that may be derived from installing the access flow valve. The examination explanation must include the information access flow valve is designed to shut off the flow of the natural gas automatically if the service line breaks. Notification must include the description of the excess flow valve installation replacement cost. Notice must also alert the customer with the cost of maintaining the replacing the excess flow valve may be later incurred, but what the cost will be the extent known. Notification must indicate the service line with the customer request the installation excess flow valve of the load that does not exceed the 1,000 SCFs. Condition of the paragraph C with the note with the present operator must install the excess flow valve mutually agreed date. Operator master meter system liquefied petroleum gas operated with fewer of the 100 customers may continuously post a general notification of the prominent location frequented by customer operator. If the customer notification operator must comply with the notice of the notice is currently being available to the PHMSA inspection state inspection conducted with the pipeline safety program currently certified and approved with the PHMSA under statute Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 60-105 and 60-106. Preparing except operators master meter liquid petroleum gas operated with fewer than more than 100 customers. Each operator must follow report excess flow valve measure detail of the annual report 191-11. 192-385 manual surface line shut-off valve installation. Definition used within the section. Manual surface line shut-off valve of the mean for the curb valve, the other main with the operating valve located near the surface with the safe accessible operator. Person with the other personal auto the right with the operator with the manually shut off the gas load with the surface line. If needed, the installation requirement the operator must install the other manual surface line shut-off valve if possible based on sound engineering analysis available the excess flow valve for any of the newly replaced surface line with the install of the meter capacity 1,000 SCFH. Accessibility maintenance. Manual surface line without shut-off valve with the new replaced surface line must be installed in such a way that allows the accessibility during the emergency. Manual service shut-off valve is installed under the section or subject to the regular scheduled maintenance as documented by the operator consistent with the valve of the manufacturer's specifications. Subpart I, requirements of corrosion control.